Hey everyone, it's me, Shelley. I was asked to do a chair yoga series for some corporate clients, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to play around and record it, and then hopefully it might help some of you, right? And I'm choosing to be in my very imperfect space here. In some ways, super perfect because I have all this stuff at my fingertips, but at the same time imperfect because there's stuff around, and who at home has like a designated space to do their yoga and to do it at a very clean and organized desk. So I decided to just sort of wing it. Again, if it's a chair yoga, it's to find a chair that doesn't roll around. And if it does, put the stoppers on it so you don't go flying around, because that would not be helpful. And I might just move my position here and there. And I might do a couple of standing stretches at the desk as well. And so all you need is your body, your chair, maybe your desk. And if you're wearing shoes and socks, I mean, in your home, I suggest, giving yourself an opportunity actually to stop wearing shoes all the time, right? Um, just a thought. So we're going to begin. You're just going to sit up nice and tall, right? Hands just go to your thighs. Let your head just naturally find a even space between the ground and the ceiling. And just for a moment, let's close the eyes just to find the groundedness, breathing in and out, beginning to explore the breath, finding deeper, longer inhales, deeper, longer exhales, seeing whether you can trace the inhale from beginning to end, and then following the same with that exhale. This can be your entire yoga practice, just finding the breath, if that's what you need. It really depends on what you're looking for. There was a little bit of a question mark when someone asked me to do this. I was like, is people looking to meditate? Are they looking to have a real active practice, taking a break, stretching? So I decided to do everything. And then you can let the eyelids open and just feel your feet on the ground, right? To feel this weight of the legs, and even actually press your thighs down to lift the spine even taller. Taking again deep, long breaths in and out. And let's just begin because we are using I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. We're on our computers a lot more, right? On our phones. So just making these nice, easy circles and then reversing that. Good. I love doing these all the time. And then just making some gentle circles with the wrists. I like to do five, five of each, right? Makes it simple. I love this one. And then you can just even just like sort of point and flex the hands, right? Yeah, and reverse that. Curl them. Good. And then stretch the right arm out to like so that it's shoulder distance, and just let the fingertips point down. And that just feels nice on the top of your hand, wrist, and then flexing it, right? To your degree. And then doing that on the other side for five, four, three, two, one, and then flexing it. Good. And then just taking the shoulders up and down. I'm just going to check the time so that I don't overgo here. And then making some circles with the shoulders, right? This just feels so great. It feels very releasive, actually, right? Again, it's about, being in this position a lot. Good. And then again, just getting the feet a little bit more active. So just sort of coming onto the balls of the feet, maybe coming onto the balls of the feet, letting the balls of the feet come up, right? Maybe even just doing a little prancing in place, right? Stretching that right leg long. Now, this is where, you can actually just, see what you want to do and just sort of point and flex the foot. again, we're not doing as much activity. We're not walking as much. I mean, maybe you are and you're really lucky, but even being in New York, I've noticed that my step count is way, way down. Um, and that's even with walking the dog. So just, getting this mobility, this, finding this to be like a mobility practice, right? Making some circles. It feels wonderful, right? Supporting the leg. Good. And then I love doing this with most of my clients at the beginning, especially if we're working with some injuries and stuff, is just to bring the the left ankle over the right knee, creating this figure four shape, right? Just nice stretch on the outside of the hip, sitting up nice and tall here, right? And you can just stay here and breathe. You could also find a twist to the leg that's bent. You could also reverse that twist. Good, and then you can reverse that, taking the right leg up. Really does feel nice on the outer hip. Finding a twist over to the right this time. And over to the left. I forgot to add that we haven't done any rounding yet, but you can sort of find a little bit of a forward fold here, right? So all I'm doing is forward folding with a nice extended spine. And then just, rocking my body. And that really gets into that whole outer hip, right? And then you can do that on the other side. It's just about moving the body, right? And then maybe just letting the legs go wide into this goddess shape, right? So letting the legs be wider than the chair. And then just sort of letting the knees, as if we were doing this windshield wiper, just gentle, letting the knees rock in, right? Yeah, it just feels so, so good. And then taking the arms out, maybe just find a interlace of the fingers behind your head and open the elbows up. This is one of my favorite things to do because it really creates this neutral and then almost extension in the spine. Okay, and this just feels heavenly for my upper body. And you can breathe here, inhale and exhale. You can change the interlace of the fingers. You can bring your legs in a little bit if it's too much, and you can actually find a little bit of a side bend here, right? So getting actually prepared for our triangle poses and our side bending poses. You can also side bend to the left and you can extend the right arm, right? You can also extend that arm out and just, feels so great. Bringing that arm up, switching it to the other side. And again, just that feels really, really nice on my shoulders. Good. Just take a couple of extra shoulder circles, and then we'll begin doing a little bit more of an active practice. Again, all is good. You can have your hands to your tops of your thighs. And actually, it's good because it kind of grounds the legs down. And if you're shorter, you might need blocks underneath your feet, right? So that your feet are nicely planted and that you don't have extra tension in the tops of your thighs. And then from here, all you're doing is inhaling the arms up and over the head, gazing up, exhaling, hands come down. Inhaling, arms come up and over the head. Exhaling, come down. Make a little bit of space. Inhale the arms up and over the head, and then just forward folding. I don't fold rounding over. I have severe osteoporosis, so I just go into a comfortable, but you can let your head go. Everything can go. You can bring your hands to blocks, to the ground, to a book. And then inhaling the arms up and over the head, bringing your hands into prayer pose. Opening the legs wide this time, finding goddess pose, right? It's helpful maybe to be more at the edge of your chair to really get your legs a little bit more activated, right? So this is a great pose. It's so good for our opening up of our bodies. It's creating some strength in the pelvic floor, as well as getting strength going in the thighs. And you can stay here. You can also find the leaning goddess, right, with a nice extended spine. I love doing these standing as well. It's one of my favorite activities. Learn this in my osteoporosis training. And then from here, extending the arms. And then we're just gonna bring our body, our gaze, everything over to the left side. Left knee stays bent. And then the right leg, depending on where you're at, right? Like for me, keeping the back leg bent is good, but if you can straighten it out, then that's fantastic. And just finding your version of warrior two, opening the chest, lifting up, and then finding that reverse warrior, gazing up towards the left arm. And then finding warrior two again into extended side angle, right? So from here, you just have to be really on the edge of your chair. And then finding extended side angle. Good. And then coming back, finding this warrior goddess shape. And then finding that on the other side. I mean, if you're really on the edge of your seat, I got something behind me here, you can extend the leg, right? And then just again, finding warrior two. Breathing in, breathing out. And then reversing the warrior. Oh, I feel the stretch in my groin. Good. And then finding this pose once again. And then finding extended side angle. Good. Finding this warrior pose once again. And then from here, bringing the knees together, feet together, coming really to the edge of your chair, right? So that the sit bones are really at the edge of the chair, lifting the arms up, pressing the legs down into the ground, finding chair pose, right? So here we are, chair pose. I took a class, I saw something the other day where you can actually think about lifting off of the chair. I mean, I don't have the strength to do it, but you can try, right? You can play around with that, right? It's not so easy, right? But do what you can. Bring the arms down. Good. And already I'm beginning to feel like I've been activated, right? Now, in terms of finding a balance or anything else, like this is where you might want to come off of your chair because, sitting at your desk, it's good to stand up, right? Standing up, give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. This is one of the things that I've been doing every morning and I've been loving it. I do it actually at this desk, but you can use any surface. You can use your chair, right? You can use the back of your sofa. And all I'm doing is taking my hands to the desk and I'm finding this L shape, right? Looking at my feet, making sure that they're next to one another and one's not in front. And then just extending the spine from the top of my head to the sit bones, to the tailbone, breathing into this space. I like to hold this for 30 seconds. Obviously, if you have something going on in your body, then, or health-wise, this might not be the best pose for you. But for me, this is a great pose. It's great for my osteoporosis, but it might not be a great pose if you're a cardiac patient. And then coming up, and then maybe taking the right leg back, left leg back, right leg forward, just finding a little bit of a runner's stretch, right? Again, I like to hold things for about 30 seconds, which is about 3 to 4 breaths, right? Depending on your breath count. You can time it and figure it out for yourself. I'm going a little bit quicker so that we can get through some stuff here. And then while we're standing, again, like this is just a nice thing to do, is to find a little bit of a squat. Right now, like, I don't have like the deepest, best squat. When I do practice this, it gets better and better. But it's important to get this mobility in the hips and the pelvis. Good. And then it's always nice to find some kind of a standing balance. And again, holding on to the chair or not holding on to the chair, right? You want to find tree pose, right? Here I am, here's my tree. You want to practice just coming off of the chair, that's great too. Maybe, oops. Again, yoga teacher, not perfect. Yeah, these are very slippery pants. I didn't realize it. Yeah, so just extend the arms up and over the head. Bring the arms down, and then you can do that on the other side. You can have the chair in front of you when you're doing this as well, right? So you can bring the leg here and finding tree pose. Maybe you don't let go. Maybe you're holding on for dear life. It's a practice. Good. And then from here, we'll come and sit down again. And let's just find some nice restorative stuff. So we did some active poses. There are other active poses we can do. We can just actually, let's incorporate one more. Let's come to the edge of I'll just space a little sideways so you can see what's going on here. Coming to the edge of your seat, right? And then letting the right leg go over the left. Maybe you're linking the toes around the calf, finding eagle pose, stretching the arms out, left arm over right, interlacing the fingers. Maybe you're hugging, right? Maybe this is it for you, but otherwise you can also find eagle pose. And again, to make this pose more active, press down on the left leg, right? Press down on that leg that's into the ground, lift the arms up. Find your breath. Good. And then we're going to switch that to the other side. So I'll do this forward. So this time right leg is down. Again, interlacing the toes around as best you can. This time right arm over left, finding eagle pose. Good. And let's just find a couple of easy restorative poses, right? So like a really nice thing to do if you are having a very stressful day, I can honestly say I've had a few of those myself, is all you need to do is take your hands, one on top of the other, and just let the head rest. And then coming back up, you can also do this with the figure 4, right? You could just find a restful place here. And then you can reverse. I'm just going a little bit fast. So you could hold these positions anywhere from 5 breaths to 5 minutes. And, you know, then returning back into a practice of maybe closing the eyes and finding a little bit more meditation. Maybe you meditate with the head down. Maybe you can lie down for a couple of minutes. It's all in the realm of whatever is good for you. Working from home for many of us is a new philosophy and a new thing. And we just need to figure out how to keep ourselves active and moving and, you know, not staying stagnant in the body or the mind. So that's my quick practice for all of you today, and I will see you soon. Ciao.